Ah, hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to Rated T for TTRPG. We have got another amazing Reddit story today. At least I hope it's amazing because Katie picked it out for us.
Yes, always.
And it is titled DM Asked for Feedback. I gave it and got kicked as a result. And that just right off the bat is got me thinking I'm not gonna
Eh,
like this dungeon master. I am concerned for this player, and let's see how it goes. Hey guys, I can't believe I'm actually posting in here. Never thought this day would come. Alas, here we are.
oh no.
Somebody who reads a whole lot of Reddit
Yeah,
stories and thought they'd never be a
yep,
poster. We're gonna end up on Reddit at one of these times.
I know.
So I was a part of an online D&D group that started last year. We were playing Descent into Avernus, and it was going great. Had a lovely DM who was very patient with me, a new player at that point, and was more than willing to help every step of the way. The rest of the players were also really open and friendly. They were all friends in real life, and then there was another member who was new, like me. But the further along we progressed into the campaign, problems started arising. Mostly about lack of options, too much combat,
Hmm.
but that was all sorted out without much of an issue. However, we decided to take a break after talking about our problems with the campaign as a group. During this break from Descent into Avernus, one of the other players ran a few one-shots for us. Pretty much just all level 20 combat with no plot outside of scene setting. Whew! Just a couple of level 120 or a level a couple of level 21 shots.
Yep.
That's just ain't no thing. I'm already, just I've got reading these gives me a bit of a stigma against online games, or at
Yeah,
least it increases the stigma I already had. Like, I feel like people are just so much more open to not giving a shit about your feelings online and not
yeah.
being respectful.
I was never with that whole online thing either though, like ever.
Yeah. So, to fill in the gaps while our DM worked on sorting out the lore for his homebrew campaign, which we'd all agreed to start after this break. So, what happened to Descent into Avernus? All right. Now, this is where we get to the actual good stuff,
Oh, okay, okay.
where the shit hit the fan.
Damn.
Our DM told us that he was running a little behind schedule because of some personal things cropping up. Normal. Which was perfectly fine, and that the start of the new campaign would have to be pushed back by a couple of weeks. But then myself and a few of the other players also had things going on. I, for one, was abroad. But you're playing online, so can't you just meet up anywhere?
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
And so it would have taken about a month for everything to be up and running. No one had an issue with this. It was all very chill. But then,
Oh no.
the player who had been running the one-shots decided to simply start running his own homebrew campaign without any notice or discussing it as a group.
Oh my life.
Now, see, we simply thought that it would be as a filler for that month, given how he'd been running the one-shots and was giving us the choice of setting and plot in a very these are one-shots manner. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. He just continued running his campaign, and we realized a bit too late that it wasn't just one shots. I was going to bring this up to him, but our original DM told me that it was fine, etc., etc. So you're talking to the dungeon master behind the new dungeon master's back, being like, hey, he's trying to steal your players. That's
Why
messed up.
why wouldn't yeah, I don't understand cuz like why wouldn't you just like talk to the new dungeon master about how you feel?
Yeah.
instead. I don't know.
Well, poster goes, he wasn't fine with it, but he was too polite to say so. Me.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm just not gonna confront it. The situation is screwed. So if that wasn't already bad enough, his homebrew was shockingly terrible. I mean, never in my entire life of reading Wattpad and Quotev fan fiction have I ever seen something so atrociously bad. So you read Wattpad and you thought you weren't going to be posting on Reddit one day? You should have known better.
Should have known.
Not mentioning AO3 or Tumblr because they are leagues above whatever he made.
What?
Buddy, if you're scrounging the internet and getting into that deep of the internet abyss, you should have expected this to be happening.
I'm so good. So wait, hold on. So he was like just looking, or was he posting on these like other websites?
I'm gathering that OP reads on all of those websites all the
Oh,
time. You know, reading
okay.
lots of fanfic and a lot of homebrewed campaigns and just stuff of people making up their own shit.
Okay, okay.
And it can get toxic in there.
Oh yeah.
This next part is a little out of order purely because I had no idea of how to format it properly. Please bear with me and my suffering. And apparently our suffering if this isn't going to make any
Oh
sense.
no.
All of his NPCs were bland. The plot was very loose. We never had an actual goal given or offered to us. There was no life behind any of it. It felt more like a poor experiment in world building without any actual substance. The biggest reason for this was that he viewed any attempt at giving us a lead to follow or any objective as railroading. Okay, I can kind of be at fault of doing that because I just don't want it to feel like any railroading, so you leave it a completely open-ended story and then forget to put anything in it. It can be kind of rough. But I don't know. Do you feel like there's enough story in our current campaign?
Yeah, but also I also feel like we make the story too, which is like fun, you know what I mean? Like there is story plots, but then it's like we also make the story, so it's not ever bland.
That is a good point, OP.
Yeah.
Make your own story within the story.
Yeah.
So, the biggest reason for this was that he viewed any attempt as railroading. He was underprepared for most sessions, didn't make a single map, nor did he make any unique characters.
Hmm.
Everything he used was simply taken from Pinterest, and a lot of the maps had Patreon watermarks, which rubbed me the wrong way. That's fair, you should pay for those.
Yeah.
The actual world building was truly terrible. He wanted to be edgy and made high elves slave owners, also got rid of 99% of elf subspecies because he simply didn't care for them, and made all elves unplayable until I was switching characters and mentioned that playing a Shadar-kai would have been perfect for what I wanted to do. He relented, but I refused anyway because I could tell he wasn't happy about it. Didn't you just change into a Shadar-kai?
Yes.
Woo!
That's what I'm saying.
Shadar-kais, comment down below, represent.
Yes, represent.
When our actual DM was sharing his homebrew lore, this player constantly turned his nose up at it.
Hmm.
Refused to entertain the ideas brought to the table, and didn't like how it took inspiration from some of the DM's interests, such as Warhammer and other things. I am not trying to be dismissive, I just cannot comprehend all of that. Either way, he was just being really mean for no reason. All the while, he'd been boasting about how intricate his lore was and how utterly unique and one of a kind it was. It is not. OP, it sounds so far like you're just being really judgmental on a DM who was just trying, except that he went and
Yeah.
stole a bunch of other DM's players, and that would piss me off.
Although I will say, it kind of seems like the dungeon master, the new one, it seems like he is new at being a dungeon master.
Yeah, yeah. I want to know how long he's been dungeon
Yeah.
mastering. Is he just trying this out? He basically took every nation he found interesting, improved upon them, and slapped some truly unpronounceable name onto it. This coming from someone who's Eastern European, by the way. Oh, geez. He also made it so that dragons didn't exist when our original DM had included a dragon attack in his character's backstory. But as soon as he had switched characters, he magically backtracked on that and made it so dragons did exist. Yeah. Alright, so that kind of sounds like the new Dungeon Master might have issues with the old Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
And there might be some beef.
There probably is, honestly, though.
On top of all that, it took us multiple months for the prologue to be over and for the campaign to start. By this stage, he had nearly TPK'd us, which resulted in 3 out of 5 characters being swapped out, 2 dying, 1 leaving as a result, and also completing one of those 3 characters' entire motivation and character arc. The actual PC didn't even get to do it himself, and there were no repercussions on the plot going forward. What?
That is so.
Why did you guys even keep going? Just pull back the original Dungeon Master and be like, you keep running. Like, we finished the prologue, we're not gonna keep running this
That's
campaign.
crazy to me. Like,
it already sounds like nobody's enjoying
yeah,
it.
that's why I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, why did they keep going? Like,
why are we here?
Or have a conversation. That's crazy.
Is it just to suffer?
Probably.
I had by then switched on to my 3rd character. Our original DM was on his 4th, one of the players on his 2nd, and the other 2 players on their 1st characters. At this point, I realize that I'm venting more than simply giving tech context, so I'll try to keep on track with the final parts of this sordid event. OP is trying to like read our minds while we're reading this story,
Yeah.
and is like, I've gone too far off track. Let me get back to the point.
I kind of like that though. That's good.
I finally reached my own tipping point when we'd done 3 sessions, 4+ hours each, and they were all combat, with maybe 30 minutes of actual roleplay. This is not what any of us had signed up for, so I messaged the current DM and explained all of the issues that I had been having with the campaign, mentioning some points that had been brought to my attention by the other players too, though I didn't throw them under the bus. Well, throw me under the bus, I live there. He didn't reply until a week later. Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna just leave this on red. I can't take criticism.
Oh, God.
And simply told me that it would be best for us to part ways?
So instead of just like hearing him out and having a conversation, he's like, yeah, all right, peace. We should just not.
Hey, I see that you're not that into this and you want to critique what I'm doing, so peace out, motherfucker.
Damn.
Rest in peace, original poster. That's crazy. But it's not over yet.
Oh, God.
After he hadn't acknowledged any of the points that I had brought forward for him to consider, and showed an outright refusal to communicate about the matter, he then also proceeded to kick our original DM too. One of the other players tried to organize a call for us to discuss things, but that was outright refused by the new DM.
This seems a little like, I don't know, that's toxic. Like the fact that he is just like, no, I don't want to listen to you, and then proceeds to kick the old dungeon master out of the game. Like that just is.
this is screams of collusion and
Yeah.
some conniving trickery BS
Yeah,
that
that's
the new
what.
DM. I feel like new DM had this planned all
Yeah,
along.
I don't know, or something of the sort, because that just seems a little too weird to me, like to be a coincidence.
Well, it goes, but yeah, no, that's that. Just a few more quickfire points I wanted to mention as well. He was so utterly committed to not railroading the story that he didn't have the campaign's BBEG auto hit the king, even though this would have been perfect for the plot. Okay.
Hmm.
He said the big bad evil guy was nearly killed upon his first appearance, but he miraculously escaped and used abilities that were most definitely not on his sheet. He also refused to allow any of us to aim at him while he was flying away, despite one of the characters being a ranger, the other a gunslinger. He also had an entire fail-safe contingency plan for if the BBEG died, so it didn't make sense for him to not let him die, something he later admitted. It took him over 2 hours to introduce a new PC. What was happening during those 2 hours, you may ask? A 1v1 fight in the Royal Library between one of the PCs and an NPC, which included fire magic in front of the king and the prince, who didn't care whatsoever. Do not give you a singular player 2 hours of campaign time all to themselves. Like,
That's
you just, all of your other players just gonna be sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Like, bring them into the story somehow.
that's just weird to me though that it was they were given like 2 hours, not just like, oh, like 20, minutes or
Yeah,
whatever. It's
yeah.
like 2 hours. Come on now.
Like, give them time to shine, but
Yeah,
not the whole session.
right. Yeah.
Petrified one of the PCs and then realized that we didn't have the spell to undo that. Tried to backtrack, and that was an entire mess, given that the PC was supplying my PC with her sight at the time.
Oh my god. That's such a whole mess. Oh my
Oh
life.
man. I love throwing status effects at my players when I don't know if they can handle those status
Oh
effects.
goodness.
He completely fucked up multiple encounters through various different means. My newest and final PC had a husband mentioned in her backstory who worked for the king as one of his guards slash soldiers. This was meant to be a huge driving factor for my PC, who was agreeing to get involved in all of this to ensure his safety. They were reunited that same session, and he was doing perfectly fine, and then also made an entire joke out of it.
Why?
Hey, so my husband is like my entire reason for existing in this campaign. Oh, my husband's fine. Alright, I've got no reason to exist anymore.
What?
Ah!
Ugh. I don't even know.
Maybe, OP, you should have left before getting kicked.
I was like, I would have just, if, yeah, right after that new dungeon master didn't want to talk, I would have left because, like, that's
Yep.
just, no.
Well, we have one last bullet point.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. By the way, the DM always asked at the end of the session for any feedback and recommendations. So I sent him a solid 3 pages. 3 pages on Google Docs. 1.5 the first time, the same after being after his maybe 6 paragraph reply. Oh, you guys have too much time on your hands.
How's that?
And then he kicked me. I could go on, but I'd rather save us all the misery. Yeah, thanks. This whole post was a bunch of misery. I can't believe you went through all of that.
I just don't understand. Yeah, why would you just keep going? Like, I could not.
Plus, way to bury the lead, being like, oh yeah, and this dungeon master, he was asking for feedback like the whole time. And I gave him feedback. I gave him pages of feedback. And then the dungeon master was just like, okay, bye. Which, I guess, now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense. Because if one of you guys sent me 3 pages critiquing how I play my game, I might be like, "Are you sure you want to keep playing?
Actually,
You sure
well,
you want
that's
to
what
be
I
here?"
was. That's okay. Now, see, and now that they say that, like, I wonder. It just makes me have questions about like what the feedback was, or what. Why was it three
Yeah.
pages out of that?
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds really incompatible. Just like
yeah,
you did not mesh well with this dungeon master. And that is yet another of the problems with playing online when you don't know
yep.
the people. Who knows how you're going to mesh? You can't know. That's why I like picking my people in person.
That's facts, though. That's how I feel. Cause like I personally could never.
Definitely
But
comment down below your worst online game experiences and your best. Prove us wrong. Tell us why
oh,
online D&D is the best D&D.
I would like
But
to know.
then, are you playing with strangers? Or are you playing with people you know in real life? You just happen to be playing online, because that doesn't count in my book.
Yeah, if you know them and you're playing online, that's
Yeah,
wild.
it might as well still just be in person, because you know everybody in person. So which also sounds like was probably the case with this party. Was all of it sounds like all of the strangers got kicked except maybe one of them. So
Yeah,
maybe in reality they only ever wanted to be playing with people they knew, people they trusted at heart. Ugh. But that was the whole story. What did you think of it, Serenity? Did you think it was good? What about
she's
you,
just sitting there.
Marley? Did Marley think it was good? I don't know, but you should let us know by hitting that like
Yes.
button and subscribing. That's how you can tell us it was a great story. Or, you know what? Do that if it was a bad story, too, because we could use it. And with that, Serenity is going to sign us off because she's adorable.
She's ready.
All
Look at
right.
her.
Don't forget, lick that like button and subscribe.